The Splash, live, Greater West Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash, live.
Good morning and welcome to The Splash Live TGIF. The weekend is back again with more sunshine. Couldn't be better, huh? Dave Scott here in our Splash studios, kicking off 90 minutes of live and local television right here on Civic Center TV. Starts off with the Splash, of course. Then Tyler will be in shortly with the Megacast, an hour and a half of all local information, very West Bloomfield, Oakland County, and then we expand things, of course, to the state of Michigan. Awful proud to be with you here each and every Monday through Friday. Easy to watch us on a wide variety of platforms. That includes Comcast Channel 15 in the Greater West Bloomfield area. If you happen to be a cable subscriber of AT&T, you'll find us there on Channel 99. We always invite you to go to our website, civiccentertv.com. You'll find our live stream in full high definition, plus a lot of archival information. It's packed right now because we've been busy with parades and memorial services and community events, and there's more right around the corner. We'll talk about it on the show today, and then, of course, archives of our meetings and these broadcasts, all on Civic Center TV, where we are live this morning. Also live on social media, Facebook and YouTube. Just search for civiccentertv.com. And a good morning to those of you listening on the radio on 89.3 Lakes FM, our own little FM radio station. Not so little. Covers the entire Greater West Bloomfield area, and a great place for you to go and tune in if you're heading out the door and in the middle of one of our interesting stories and you want to hear the rest of it on your way to work. So thank you very much for tuning in today. First of all, let's take a look at the absolute best news of the day, and that continues to be this weather pattern that we're in. Another beautiful day. I can't remember a better run of weather that we've had, with a huge dome of high pressure sitting over our area. It's meant low winds, generally blue skies, kind of hazy. We'll talk about one of the downsides of all this. But 72 degrees already this morning. We're going to make it up to 90 degrees today. Very little winds. Same tomorrow, same Saturday, maybe a spotty shower or thunder shower over the weekend, but for the most part, should be absolutely incredible throughout the weekend. Now, the only downside of this is that the wind and the air is not moving around a whole lot. So we do have ozone advisories going on, the warmer temperatures, and of course, all of this stagnant air in our area. So if you have breathing issues, just be careful. Be careful about when you select times to cut your grass and engage in any of those activities that create a lot of pollutants. All the information on how and when and what to do and what not to do is available all online. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk to Suzanne Levine from the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. And if we get all of our wires hooked up here correctly, I'm going to check in with my good friend Byron Cancelmo, musician, HVAC guy extraordinaire from right here in West Bloomfield. And he was down on the Grand Prix. Of course, it's Grand Prix weekend. He was down driving on the Grand Prix track. And I just thought it'd be fun to hear from him this morning and see how all that went, and talk a little bit about the weekend's big, massive event in the Detroit Grand Prix that is this weekend happening again on the streets of downtown Detroit. Not on Belle Isle. They've moved it back to the streets of downtown. So a lot of exciting stuff going on. So it's been a busy week for yours truly. If you've been tuning in, Tyler's been doing the show a couple of days, and I've been doing the show a little bit on and off. I have been at the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island for the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce Policy Conference. And this is a great opportunity where people from all over our community, Metro Detroit, state of Michigan, along with a lot of our elected officials, they all get together and we discuss the leading issues of the day. And I was really surprised that the big headline at this year's conference was the fact that Michigan is trailing behind 48 other states, actually 47. We are the worst second to last in the country with population growth. That means we're on the other side of it. So people are leaving the state of Michigan. Our population is declining. That's a problem. Students are getting educated and then heading off somewhere else. People are moving to other communities and states around the country. So that was the big issue. And, you know, you look at how exciting and improved downtown Detroit is, how amazing our communities are, how amazing the growth in West Michigan and communities like Grand Rapids. And then all you got to do is go to northern Michigan, like I've been the last couple of days on Mackinac Island or in Traverse City or Harbor Springs, Petoskey, Alpena, the UP. It's hard to believe that everybody doesn't want to come here, but that was the big issue. Now, in the background, I wish I had a picture. I'll show you on Monday. But in the background of all this, there were huge cruise ships at Mackinac Island, and I've never seen that before. I talked to the tourism people here in the state, and they tell me that we are going to have over 100 cruise ships visiting Mackinac Island. And if they're visiting Mackinac Island, they're making their way up Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, and cruising all around the Great Lakes. So saw a bunch of people there that we know real well. Take a look at this picture. Here is Michele Economou Ureste, and of course Michele was our township supervisor before our present supervisor, Steve Kaplan. There she is talking to My Michigan TV's Steve Leto about her activities. Michele is now the executive director for the Workforce Development Network for Southeastern Michigan. They work on grants and finding money to help people find employment. So she's doing good work, and it was really nice to check in with her and see her. We also saw a lot of lawmakers, including our own state rep, Noah Arbert, and a lot of other people. Governor was there. All the dignitaries were there. Mark Cuban was there. But I got to tell you, with all of that, the highlight of the whole trip for me was having a chance to talk to Mike Tallarico. Mike is the play-by-play host of Sunday Night Football on NBC. Clearly a Michigander, lives in Ann Arbor, a big fan of our area. And what's amazing about that conference is you can walk up and down the iconic porch at the Grand Hotel and see really famous people. And they're just sitting there having a cup of coffee, and they're delighted to talk to you. It's a very low-stress environment, and that's probably why this conference is so good for all the business connections and meetings and other things it creates. But it was so cool to be able to, didn't want to bother him, but take a couple of minutes and talk to Mike Tallarico about two things that we're excited about around here: the resurgence of the Detroit Lions and the fact that he is going to be calling the first NFL game of the season this year on NBC, and it's going to be the champions of the Super Bowl, Kansas City, and lo and behold, our Detroit Lions. So it was a lot of fun, great conference. More on that later on. We have a ton of things going on here in West Bloomfield. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, hopefully we'll be able to check in with my good friend Byron Cancelmo, local West Bloomfield guy, great musician, good friend of mine, and he was on the Grand Prix track. Put a bunch of really cool pictures up on Facebook over the weekend. We'll check in with him in just a moment. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. You are watching The Splash Live, and we'll be right back after this brief break.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. What's happening around you? Hear about state events, businesses, and from the people behind them on The MegaCast, an hour-long TV, radio, and streaming show keeping you informed on the day-to-day news. Listen in on talks with volunteer groups, documentarians, and financial advisors, Monday to Friday with your host, Tyler Kieft. Catch The MegaCast weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and streaming on mymytv.com. Stop by West Bloomfield Town Hall June 14th and get your health in check at the 14th Annual Greater West Bloomfield Health and Wellness Fair. Over 40 businesses, organizations, and vendors take the time to showcase healthy practices, tips, and resources for the community. Young or old, there's something for everyone and everybody. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Wednesday, June 14th, the 14th Annual Greater West Bloomfield Health and Wellness Fair. This community update from Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Well, good morning and welcome back to the Splash Live. Dave Scott. I have just the best friends here in West Bloomfield. One of them is Byron and Michele Cancelmo, and they are amazing local musicians. And Byron also is kind of a hero for West Bloomfield because his day job is working in HVAC, which is heating and air conditioning, and he's really big on the commercial side. And Byron saved the day for us in West Bloomfield by getting a chiller unit at the West Bloomfield Library. We were really having a problem with that. But I was on Facebook this morning preparing for the show, and I saw this picture of Byron and Michele on the Grand Prix. There he is on the Detroit Grand Prix track, getting ready, just riding it to see what the Grand Prix cars are going to be doing. And Byron joins us now right here on the Splash Live, hard at work. I think he's in his car on a job site or something. Hey, Byron, how you doing this morning?
Good, Dave. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It was a great start to my day when I came into the office and I saw that picture. We can put it up one more time. That picture of you on your motorcycle with Michele on the back. Clearly, you're right on the Grand Prix track. Tell us about that ride and tell us about what you experienced driving around downtown.
Well, the purpose of the ride, we're going to be rooftop today on the riverside, enjoying the test run. So on my way to pick up Michele right now. I'm in Detroit right now. Just finished a job walk, but one of her contacts provided us a couple of passes, so it's all access, rooftop all day. We'll get to enjoy the scenery. So we wanted to kind of get our bearings before heading down there. We understand it's going to be very busy. So the amount of work, it had to have gone on for months and months. The barriers, the bands, the grandstands, everything along Jefferson there, down to Cobo, over where, behind the Renaissance, the track, that's sort of the track. And it's a lot of good straight runs. So the cars are going to be going very, very fast. And some pretty tight turns. If you're familiar with, where Andiamo restaurant is on the riverfront there behind the Renaissance, the cars are going to be screaming right by there. Great views for all, for Andiamo's restaurant frontage there. A lot of rooftop access. I think it's going to be a great view for everybody that's going to, foot traffic to those that are invited to rooftops, to those, sitting out front of restaurants. They really did a nice job with the concrete barriers and the fencing.
Take some pictures, and then would you do me a favor? When you see your wife, Michele, would you tell her that I'm deeply disappointed that she decided to take you with that extra ticket when she could have brought me along? So, you guys, that's going to be so much fun. So you got the rooftop location. I can only tell you from very early in my broadcast career, I had an opportunity. I was working for a radio station. They put me up at what was then the Pontchartrain Hotel, which is right down there on that course. And I woke up on that Friday morning when they were testing. And the sound, now that was the open-wheeled Formula One cars then, but they are so loud, and it was so amazing. And I'm telling you, it is the most exciting thing that you can imagine. And it's cool that it was on Belle Isle and we didn't lose the event. But having it in the core downtown, in the world capital of the automobile, I mean, there's nothing better than that. And I was so glad that you were celebrating that with your motorcycle ride and put that up on Facebook.
We're going to take the bike down there today. I think it'll be fun to I think it'll be easier to park it, number one. But we were in Monte Carlo, out in France, and it reminded us of the track out there and how things were set up. So very reminiscent. They did it up extremely well. The roads are clear. You've got security all over the place. You've got the big crossovers, so there's not a big walking distance because you can't drive across the track, obviously. So you got these large overpasses for pedestrian traffic. They just did a beautiful job. It's going to be easy flow in and out, handicapped, accessible. I'll take a ton of video and pictures. I'll send them your way, Dave, so you can share with your audience. We're super excited, but I better bring earplugs, I guess, if it's going to be.
Yeah, no, it's going to.
I can handle it. But
It's going to be loud. Hey, real quick, I know you're on a schedule. You got another business meeting, but thanks for taking time. 2 quick questions. A, the chiller unit that you guys put at the West Bloomfield Township Library, your day job here for a minute, to keep it cool, is that still in operation? And are we still on that backup system? And do you have any idea when the equipment's going to be available to get them back online with the typical equipment for their air conditioning?
Yep. So there was, damage to the original water-cooled chiller that's in the basement, and so we did a backup. Worked closely with a mechanical contractor, working closely with the library. So we partnered with them, brought the rental, and supply chain issues. Getting new skidded, brand new systems. It takes time. They couldn't get it right away, and I think this year they will have their new system in place. So we'll be out there probably for most of this year, but we'll be out of there, I'm pretty confident, by the end of summer.
Well, every time, I just want to let somebody know, all the people watching know, that every time you go to the library and it's nice and cool, you can thank this guy who's on TV with us right now, Byron Cancelmo, who made that happen. Finally, and listen, I love putting you on the spot. I didn't warn you about these questions. Finally, you and Michele held a concert not too long ago. I was privileged to be there with you, and you guys said that was your final concert. Now, I know all you musicians. The Rolling Stones, The Who, and everybody, there's a bunch of them this summer. They always say, well, it's our final concert. It's our final tour. Are you guys ever going to perform on stage again for us in West Bloomfield?
If we do, it'll be invited to sing a song or two, but not bringing the whole machine back together, because that's a whole nother, when you're dealing with a 13-piece band, it's a whole different business, and it takes a certain amount of focus. And being in the industry that I'm in, it's hard to focus on the two 100%. So I had to choose which one I'm going to focus 100% on, and I need to do the one that provides income to the family and be responsible.
I get it.
But Michele and I are both 55. We're celebrating our 30-year anniversary this year, and we wanted to, our daughters graduated. Thank you, graduated Michigan State, and they're both going to be out in Chicago. So we want to visit them. We want to spend time with our friends and family on the weekends. Use the motorcycle. That thing had been mothballed for years because we were just playing out all the time, and then we can spend more time with you. And,
well, I love it. I got to scoot. I appreciate your time, but thank you for joining us. Great West Bloomfield family. 2 daughters went through West Bloomfield High School, went through Michigan State. A great local musician, good friend, and keeping us cool at the library. And on top of that, Byron, thank you for your wonderful report from downtown Detroit and the Grand Prix.
Thank you, Dan.
I appreciate it. Byron Cancelmo, thank you very much for joining us this morning on The Splash Live. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Suzanne Levine from the Greater West Bloomfield.
Thanks,
thank you, Byron. Suzanne Levine from the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce checks in just a moment when we return.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Well, definitely springtime mode here in Michigan and in West Bloomfield. And that just means so many things are going on. We had all the memorial parades earlier this week, Eagle Harbor, Sylvan Lake, the ceremony over at the Pine Lake Cemetery, all that recorded and captured and available for you on Civic Center TV. You can still get out there and watch a Youth Assistance Awards also on our website. And, of course, the iconic Michigan Week breakfast, and then that amazing video that Paul Wilbur put together of his home in Pine Lake and the history of our area. So much going on this week, too. We got the Grand Prix, of course, downtown. We're packed with events. We're going to talk to Suzanne Levine about that in just a minute. Real quickly, I haven't been here in the studio. I've not had a chance to just give a nod to the West Bloomfield Fire Department for a great job. The fire department, the paramedics, all of our fire stations responding to a fire this week at a vacant warehouse on Haggerty, just south of Walnut Lake Road. We got a picture of that right here, right now. In fact, a couple of them. And just a great job by our first responders, making sure they were on the job and took care of that. All of the department offices, all of the stations were involved, along with people from neighboring communities. Just a reminder, I don't know that it was related to this fire, but no open burning in our community. That note from the fire department. We'll talk to Chief Greg Flynn next week and have a little more time to get caught up on that. Quick nod over to the police department. Saginaw Valley State University, very proud to be sending us one of their graduates. And congratulations to, and I've got her name, it just says Hannah on here, but there's Hannah along with another officer, number of officers joining our police department. And one other final quick nod before we get to Suzanne, the West Bloomfield 5th grade band holding their concert last night. I remember when I was in band when I was a kid, and really there's nothing better than being a parent, let's be honest, and going to the fifth grade band concert. The music isn't perfect, but it's just so inspiring to see your son or your daughter at the beginning of their musical career. Look at that big turnout. That's amazing. But seeing them at the beginning of their musical career, and even if the sounds aren't perfect, everyone is all smiles as they were last night. Joining us now from the West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce is our good friend, Suzanne Levine. Hi, Suzanne. Good morning, and welcome to The Splash.
Good morning.
It's
on this very hot day.
Yeah, the weather has been absolutely incredible. I can't remember, thanks for bringing it up, 90 degrees, sunshine, and through the weekend, and it's been like that all week long. I can't remember a run of nice weather for this long. It's just been, it's hot, but it's been great.
It's great, absolutely. And speaking of hot, we have so many events through the chamber that my brain is beginning to fry. So.
Well, why don't you run down and let's talk. We got about 5 minutes or so, and it is kind of a manifestation of this time of year. In our area, when the weather gets nice, we get so busy with the things we want to do outdoors, but then a lot of things that are very important indoors as well. Let's kick off with the chamber events, Suzanne.
Yeah, we actually just had 2 great ribbon cuttings, one for Schuler Bookstore. They are just incredible, and the response from the community has been tremendous. So I'm really happy to see that people are returning, to in-person events and going to bookstores and supporting our local businesses. And Dogology University just opened up also, and you should have this gentleman, Matthew Lamorato, on your program because he has a very fascinating story. He was in the military and he trained bomb-sniffing dogs.
Wow.
And been Obama's Secret Service. He worked for Obama for a while, has had a really interesting career, and then decided to open up a dog training and day camp for dogs. So he's just a really interesting person, and his story is fascinating.
Two great stories. I wish I could have been at the Schuler Books ribbon cutting. I just wasn't available this week, but just a little bit more. How was that? What was the buzz there? And just anything else you want to mention about that, because that is a huge addition to our community. Getting any bookstore at this point, the way that book marketing is going to online, not only that, but getting a store like Schuler's, great reputation here in Michigan. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, I think that they were overwhelmed by the response of the community. It's been astounding. I know that people have been very excited, And they're so responsive that if people say we would really like a section on, let's say, Judaica, they are willing to, try it out. So if you have a special interest in a kind of area of expertise, perhaps it's crystals, maybe it's something romance, whatever it is. If you go in there and talk to them, they will definitely explore that opportunity. They're very responsive to the community, and the community has really made sure that they feel very welcome. And I'm really confident that they're going to be very successful.
Well, it's a great deal for us here in West Bloomfield because they are certainly on the radar of the authors and the publishers. And if someone's on a book tour in Michigan, they're going to go to the Schuler Books locations. There's only 4 of them, and they're great outlets. Ann Arbor, East Lansing, Grand Rapids, and now West Bloomfield. So that should get us some leading authors coming into our community to sign books and maybe have a little discussion about their new releases.
Absolutely. I know that I've actually reached out to some people for the future for our leadership breakfast, which leads me to June 14th. And I'm really excited about our health and wellness event. The response from the community has been great. We have over 40 different fascinating, interesting, and vital information from different business medical organizations. We will have a massage chair there. So, maybe you'll come by. Dave, I think you could use one.
I definitely, you don't know. I've been moving road cases around all week. I'm ready. I'm ready for a massage.
It's from 11 to 2. It's open to the public. And it's at the West Bloomfield Township offices. We are so grateful to them for always hosting this for us. Corewell Health and Henry Ford West Bloomfield Health are 2 of our big sponsors, but we have many others that have joined forces because they know that the more information you have, the better you are to make decisions about your health going forward. And of course, there's always that great swag that people love, the free stuff. So we're really excited, and we hope that, perhaps someone from Civic Center TV can drop by and, interview some of our great organizations.
I got a funny feeling one of us will be there. So no problem. And then what's on the horizon?
We have, a lot of ribbon cuttings and our Cup of Connections that we host at different businesses. But July 26th, we have a really exciting joint networking event with the Lakes Area Chamber, Farmington Hills, Novi, and Southfield Chambers. It's at the Ribbon Showcase. It's from 4 to 6 o'clock, 4 to 6:30. I stand corrected. And this is a great event because there should be hundreds of people from different chambers. There are lots of sponsorships available. You can go to our website at westbloomfieldchamber.com to learn more about it. But last year, we were still sort of coming out of the pandemic. And now, since we're fully operational, we're expecting quite a turnout. And it's just a great networking opportunity. There's food and all different kinds of businesses to promote. So we're inviting the public to attend if they don't want to purchase a table, but it's a really great event.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. We got to run along. That's going to be great. And it's nice that we're getting all of our local chambers together. Suzanne, thank you very much for the update. We've run out of time. Good to be with you. So much going on. Thank you for your great efforts. It's been a big week for chambers. Of course, I've been with the Detroit Chamber all week up on Mackinac Island, and now finally nice to be back here at home talking about things that are going on right here. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for watching our program today. Get down to the Grand Prix this weekend. Get out, enjoy the weather, and we'll see you bright and early Monday morning right here on Civic Center TV on the Splash Live. Have a great weekend.